How y'all doing, yo? It's been a little minute. I just moved, right? I'm in a new apartment. See, the room looks different. It's actually a smaller room, but the apartment overall is nicer. Yeah, it's cool, man. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about, right? I want to talk about this 14900K that I purchased. This all of a sudden, people are calling it a space heater. They're correct. And it definitely gets up there, you know. But of course, because of the competition, Intel has to push. They gotta push it. And this is where all the problems came up, because they gotta push the CPU super hard because they've been stuck on this quad core for like a decade, not doing anything. Quad core after quad core after quad. I swear to God, if it wasn't for AMD, man, I think the max core count might have been 8 now. It might be 8. Maybe mid-range might be 6. That's what it is. That's what I feel. Maybe it might be 6 core for the high end. I don't know. You know, so it would probably be 8. I could see it probably being 8 because of the way GPUs are right now. Probably, you know, you look at the P cores, they're at 8 right now, and they got all that additional ridiculous cores, which helps. But listen, yeah, man, I just want to talk about this this whole situation with the Intel processor that they've now fixed, apparently with 012B microcode update, which is beta for me. I'm not touching that. I don't do beta updates. I don't have to worry about that because I'm not like everybody else. I feel like this is mostly, if you're an enthusiast, I don't think this is gonna bother you because you're probably manually overclocking the CPU anyway, is what I think, right? But maybe not. I have no idea. I just think this is a lot of people who are having these issues. You know, they're I mean, and they shouldn't be having issues. Let's just say that they should not be. It should just work. You should just plug and play. But these are K parts with a a Z motherboard, and it allows you to overclock, right? So, or you know, manually tune everything and whatnot. And that's what I like to do. I like to tinker with my stuff. So pause. And and you know, every single CPU that I've had, I've manually overclocked it. Almost everything except for the Athlon 3000. And 6000, which is 2 and 3 gigahertz processors from AMD. I had it was a Dell system, so of course it's locked down. I can't overclock that. But I had a Phenom something. It was 2.2 gigahertz. I overclocked that to 2.4 with the B clock, of course, because it wasn't like a black edition or anything like that. So at that, I might have had a 965, but a Phenom 2 965. I don't think that, or 55. I don't know. It didn't give too much of a performance jump, though. But yeah, I was on AMD for the most part. All my CPUs were overclocked. I tuned that. I tuned the AMD FX 8320 I had a 4790K. I overclocked that. That was a quad core. And this is where I got a massive, from the 8320 to the 4790. Night and day. Beautiful, snappy system response and all that stuff. Games were getting high frames, and you know, everything. I had that. I had the 8700K, I had the 9900K, the 3900X, the 5900X. The 3D I can't overclock that. That's locked down. But all these CPUs I tuned it, you know, after a few. So I let everything run automatically for a few days to make sure everything's good and stable. This way, if I'm overclocking, it's not the CPU's fault, it's not the memory's fault, you know, whatever. And I'm like, maybe overclock wrong, and, you know, waste a bunch of time. So I'll enable XMP or whatever the case is, and I'll run my CPU and my system and make sure that it doesn't crash or anything like that. I've never had an issue until now, you know. This is technically the second Intel processor that I've gotten from Micro Center. I bought this at Micro Center, and this is the second one. This one has a warranty on it, which is probably voided because I deleted the CPU. So, but yeah, so what initially happened was I set everything up. The 14900K. I had these are G.Skill Trident Z's, but what I had before was the Corsair Dominators Platinum. And they were mid when I got them. I saw them on the internet, on the video and stuff, and they looked good. Got them in person. It's mid. But it was 64 gigs, 6600. And the cool thing about that memory is that it had 2 profiles in it. So it had a profile for 6600, and then had another profile for 6800 megahertz, right? And I'm like, that is cool. I didn't know they could really do that. And now I knew. So I had all that in there. I booted up this install Windows, was fine. went into Battlefield 2042, and the game locked up after 7 minutes. I'm like, what the hell? What is happening? All right, so I turned the system off, turned it back on. Same thing happened 10 or 12 minutes into Battlefield 2042, which I play that. What's up? You got a problem with it? Anyway, and so I'm like, damn, that's crazy. What's going on here? I've done an extended memory stress test with a flash drive and I think Memtest 86. So it's a paid version. I forgot how much I paid for it, $30 or whatever. I did that. I did an extended test, 8 to 12 hours, maybe a whole day at one point. I don't know. It passed. No issues. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know? And so I started to tinker with the memory. I started lowering the XMP. So that's the first thing I tackled. Came to find out was that it liked the baseline memory profiles, which is 5600, which is what the CPU was designed for. Okay, so I had 6800, went down to 66, went down to 64, then 6000, still wouldn't work and then from 6000 went to 56, and then I played the whole game of Battlefield. It worked just fine, and then I shut the system down, took everything out, and returned it to Micro Center because you got me messed up. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I'm sorry. I know that's what the CPU is designed for. Anything over that, frequency is not guaranteed, but I don't care. I'm not talking about overclocking. It is overclocking. It is overclocking. You're overclocking the memory, the integrated memory control and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, listen, man, you're not even the best. We gonna keep it a buck. You're not the best. The 7800 XT, the 7800 3D, right? 7800X 3D is the best CPU for gaming right now. And the only reason why I went over to Intel was because I was having issues with PUBG, and I still have it here. I got a 5900X and a 5800X 3D, and the game is dropping down to 40 frames per second, 40, 50 frames per second from over 100 frames per second. 120, 130 I was getting, and all of a sudden just dropped down. I was like, that's unacceptable. I even tried to reinstall the Windows, install all the chipset drivers and everything. I was still getting the same issues. I'm like, time to switch. And that's the reason why I didn't want to go with the 7800X 3D, because I'm like, well, what if this doesn't fix the problem? And I'm gonna have to take it back, exchange it, and then get the Intel system, because I've had this issue happen before when I had the 1700X. All the boys were getting over 100 frames. I was getting like 60, 55, going up to 80, then dropping back down to like 60, 55. And I could feel it, and it was horrible. This is PUBG. It's a battle royale. It's a competitive shooter. So I, of course, upgraded. I went to the 9900K or the 8700K. I think it's 9900K. And then it fixed all the problems. I was getting really good frames now. So I'm like, this is the logical path. A logically expensive path. Like, expensive. Like, dude, the 7800X 3D they had a bundle going on in Micro Center for like $500, $480 for a 7800X 3D, and it was such a hard decision, man. I've spent weeks in my car coming home from work. I'm just like pondering, man. It's like, which one should I get? But the 7800X 3D, which could still cause issues, and I might still have issues with the game, and that was the only game I was having issues with. PUBG, the only game. No other games would give me issues. Just PUBG. I like the game a lot. I like it. I got like 1,700 hours now on it. Okay, I like it. I still play it to this day. I'm like, this is a hard choice, man. What if it doesn't work? Maybe I should have taken the leap. But then again, I'm like, you know what? It's only 8 cores. I don't want only 8 cores. I want more than that. Though the 14900K is 8 P cores and like 16 E cores. So I'm like, yeah, right. So. But I'm like, it's more cores, more things. I could multitask better, essentially. Even though I don't think, it would help, right? Because, I don't have my second monitor. I'm going to put, where the camera is right now, I want to put the second monitor there, right here. Because I only have one monitor up right now, and the monitor's like over there somewhere, on the ground. And I want to put that up. I'm going to have to move the camera. I got to find where I'm going to put things and space and all that stuff. It was such a hard choice decided, man. But I ended up going with the 14900K, even though it had issues. It had issues. I knew about the issues. Everybody was complaining. 13900K, 14900K. I think it started with the 14 and it went down to the 13. At least that's how I started to figure it out. you know, and I'm like, they're having issues, it's crashing, and I'm like, damn, that sounds like degradation to me. That's what it sounds like, you know. Or it could be some kind of like other internal problems with how the silicon was created, which was an issue, but then they fixed that in 2023 is what I'm understanding. She's all right, she's doing good. I wouldn't have deleted her if she was given issues, obviously. So it is deleted, and I did it wrong, but I gotta redo it. I'm gonna buy a copper IHS. It was sold out, but when I have a copper IHS, I'm gonna redo it. I just didn't have a lot of time, you know. So, but now I might have a little more time on my hands, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have to move that radiator from up there to the bottom because everything is just too hot. Like the GPU is vertical now, hotter. 87C. I took off the side panel, 82C. I'm like, damn. Yeah, it's gonna happen, you know. There's not enough breathing room for it. Even though I got 3 fans at the bottom. I'm gonna take this radiator though. I'm gonna take it, and I might undo this, the vertical. I don't mind it horizontally in there. It's fine. I just wanted to see what this was like, experience it myself, and it's cool, man. You can see the fan spinning and stuff. That's really cool. I'm gonna see how I can remedy this and maybe try to fix that. I mean, I got the fans ramped up too. It has a custom fan profile. It's been choked off. I think this is pushed as far back as it can go. I want to break nothing, but I'll try pushing it back some more. I'll have to look and make sure I don't break anything. That's the last thing I want to do. And take this, the CPU radiator, which is a 360 AIO, and put it at the side. I said the bottom. Put it at the side because it'll be best for it to suck in. Because you see that's intake, right? Those are intake fans, and it'll suck in room temperature air rather than sucking in 400 watts of heat from the damn GPU. This thing is hot. I put my hands on top of here. I'm like, damn, that's insane. This is hot. And this is why I got an AC in my room too. I have central air. Room is small. Not gonna work. I'm gonna burn up in here. Okay, this is too much power. Today it's kind of inefficient, you know, compared to like a 4090. But the 4090 kind of pulls almost the same watts, a little bit more. But you know, whatever. But it's a lot of heat. So I need the AC in my room and turn it on when I'm gaming and stuff. If I'm like watching a show or whatever, I don't have to, but obviously I'm gaming. It's so much hot air. So much hot. It's hot. It is hot. All right. And I get hot. And my body, I start getting sting up. Like my body starts stinging. You ever get so hot your body starts stinging? Like it started like pinching you up? Like that, it happens. So I'm like, bro, I got to put and it's winter. And even if it's winter, I'd rather still have the AC in here because at least this way I can control the temperature. Hopefully it doesn't get too cold. I'm gonna have to seal up the area and stuff like that. But hopefully it doesn't, you know, if not, I gotta crack the window open, it'll get too cold. And, you know, I like it to be, I want to be comfortable. So having an AC in there, I guess year round at this point, thanks to this PC that pulls a lot of power, a lot of heat. And of course, this is not helping either. Okay. It's just a lot of juice and heat. And it just gets uncomfortable. So right now, the CPU is I want to say overclocked, but it's like clocked to 5.7, which is where it should be, which is where it likes to be. The chaos goes to 5.9, but for a little bit, I had it at 5.5, 1.2 volts, which is great, by the way. Excellent voltage. Nothing will happen. Like the CPU's got to be really bad in itself in order for something to break. You know, 1.2 volts, 5.5 until this whole thing blows over and gets situated for me to really fully understand what's really happening. It within a week I could already tell what was going on though. It's just it was getting too much voltage when the CPU was, you know, on auto. It depends on the board and all that stuff. They'll pump different voltages inside of the processor, and yeah, it uses a lot of voltage, man, over 1.45 and all that stuff. See some CPUs going up to 1.5 volts, 1.55 or something like that, maybe 1.6. Speaking of 1.6 volts, I accidentally give this CPU 1.6 volts. And honestly, it's not my fault. It's the motherboard's fault. Now, and this went with the 5900X. I also, the AMD 5900X, I also give that 1.6 volts, but I was able to catch it in the BIOS. This goddamn thing lied to me, okay? I was trying to get an offset, incrementally increasing the offset, rebooting into the BIOS, and it was telling me, I was trying to get up to like I forgot what I was trying to get up to, man, 1.3 or 1.28 or something like that, and I verified in the BIOS it said 1.28 volts, and then I booted up into Windows, and it said 1.6. And restarted the computer, went back into the BIOS, and it said 1.6 in the BIOS. So obviously it's a bug. I'm just waiting for that latest BIOS, which has the 0.12 whatever microcode update, to get out of beta. I don't like doing like BIOSes and firmware. I don't like betas, man. I just don't like it. I'm just waiting for something official. You know, I just don't like, even on my router, it's over there in the back somewhere. You can't see it, it's off camera. But I don't do beta BIOSes on firmwares and stuff. Any device, my phone, I don't like to really do beta updates on my phone. I like stable stuff, unless it's, you know, I could test it out, I could replace it easily or whatever, then I'll do that. But or it's a situation that's urgent and I'm having issues. If I'm having issues and this thing, I can't get this thing to work, but maybe the beta update will fix it, then I'll do that. But I don't have any issues with the system, so except the BIOS being a little buggy and, you know, give me the wrong voltage readouts, which is horrible. I did it 2 times. You know, I was trying to get 1.2 offset again later on, and it went up to 1.32, so that's not as bad. But again, it's just lying to me. When I set in the BIOS, when I get into Windows and go back into the BIOS, then it updates it. It's like, Asus, come on, man. I like your boards, I do. I like your boards. I do. I accidentally hit the keyboard, and I did not know space would actually stop this thing. I didn't know space would stop the recording. But yeah, man. Anyway, everything's good. I guess I'll just end it on that note. You know, CPU is fine. I might still put it back down to 5.5 gigs or 1.2 volts. That's kind of what it needs for 5.5 gigs, which is basically dropping it down to a 14700K. No offense, but yeah, you know, it's happening. Things are going. Let me see what's going on. I could show you right now. Hold on, let me show you the temperature. All I did was play PUBG. That's all I did. I played PUBG. You can see, right? Yeah, last play today. Anyway, so yeah, you can see all the temperatures. See the frequency, 5.7. 4.4 in the E-cores, and temperatures, max temp is 87, but yesterday was 91. But I had the AC on, so the room was, you know, a little bit cooler and stuff like that. And the GPU, Lord have mercy, where's it at? Where's that at? Where's the graphics card at? Here we go. 88 degrees. 88, which is it's up there. And then I took off the side panel and went down to 82. Because it's vertical. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna go watch some what's that show called? Prison Break. Because I haven't ever seen it. So I'm gonna go watch that and maybe fiddle with this. And maybe I'll take this off because I definitely want the CPU to get fresh air. Okay. I want that. The system pulls a lot of power and it gets really hot, and I can help it out by doing that. So let's put it on the side. I'm gonna have to get rid of this fan at the bottom because those tubes are gonna be at the bottom. I might have to move the GPU and put it back vertical. I might not. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. We'll see if it'll work. You know, I want to, yeah, like I said, so I want to put it on the side. You know what I mean? And that fan gotta go. It might look a little weird, but it's what it is. You know, as long as I can get that GPU to breathe the outside air and not the graphics card's air, which is very hot. It's very hot, push out a lot of heat. And so, you know, maybe I can get higher clocks, because that's one thing I was hoping for with this D-Lid. I want higher clocks. I wanted to maybe get 5.9. 6 would be nice, but I don't think that's really going to be achievable. Not gonna lie. Anyway, I think that concludes today's video. I'll see you guys soon.